I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. My name is Eric Schmidt. I'm the Chief of Police here at Branson. And I also have with me Corporal Sam Carpenter from the Missouri State Highway Patrol, as well as Lieutenant E.J. Jones from the Branson Police Department. Should I have any questions regarding to their involvement, I can refer to them. As everybody knows, we had an officer-involved shooting on February 28th of 23 that did result in a fatality. Per our standard procedure, we did turn the investigation over to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, and on completion of their investigation, it was forwarded to the Taney County Prosecutor's Office for their review. And I did receive word from Brad Hughes, who is the Taney County Prosecutor, that no criminal charges would be filed as a result of our officers' actions. I received that notification on July 5th, and so this agency has put together a community debrief as we promised the week that this occurred. And what I'm going to do now is cue up a video and show you all the video. It takes approximately 14 to 15 minutes, and after that we will accept questions for 5 minutes from the press, and at that point we will conclude. Hello, I'm Eric Schmidt, the Chief of Police in Branson, Missouri. Today we are releasing a community critical incident debrief for the officer-involved shooting that occurred in Branson at the end of February. We take all uses of force seriously and understand the value of human life. We understand the need for transparency in order for our community to understand our actions. All uses of deadly force are fully investigated and reviewed by an independent law enforcement agency, the Prosecutor's Office, and the Branson Police Department. Due to Missouri law, agencies are not able to release videos or other evidence until the investigation is complete, has been reviewed by the prosecutor, and decisions made about whether criminal charges will be sought. On July 5th of 2023, I was advised by Taney County Prosecutor Brad Hughes that he had fully reviewed the investigation that was completed by the Missouri State Highway Patrol, and that he has elected not to pursue criminal charges for the Branson police officer actions that evening. What follows is a review of the incident to include narration, videos, and audio of the actual event. Some viewers will find this content disturbing, so viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, my name is Lieutenant E.J. Jones of the Branson Police Department's Investigation Division. I am also responsible for coordinating administrative reviews of officers' actions in critical incidents. I'm here to brief you on an officer-involved shooting that occurred in the 1100 block of 76 Country Boulevard on February 28th of 2023. On this date, around 9:50 p.m., officers became aware of a wanted suspect driving a 2005 silver Pontiac Grand Am. The suspect, Randall James Woslick Jr. of Rockaway Beach, was wanted for several felony warrants. At 9:52 p.m., Branson Police Officer 1 located the Pontiac traveling west on 76 Country Boulevard near Roark Valley Road and requested another officer be en route to his location to assist with a vehicle stop. As Officer 1 followed the Pontiac, the vehicle turned into a convenience store parking lot and stopped near the building's front doors. Officer 1 parked behind the Pontiac, exited his vehicle, and made contact with the occupant. Inside the vehicle was a male driver and a dog. Officer 1 introduced himself and asked for the driver's name. The driver, Mr. Woslick, verbally provided a false name.
Hello. Well, Branson Police Department, how you doing, man?
All right.
We're gonna talk to you. Just, cute dog. What's your first name?
John?
John?
Yes.
You got an ID on you by chance?
No, I don't.
Okay.
What did I do wrong?
Just trying to talk to you, kind of see what's going on. Been having some weird stuff going on with this car. So, John, you said John?
6 months.
J-O-H-N?
Yes.
J-O-H-N?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I thought you said S. John, what's your last name?
Hankins?
What is it?
Hankins, H-A-N-K-I-N-S.
Upon the arrival of Officer 2, Officer 1 returned to his vehicle to confirm Woslick's identity through police files. Officer 1 recontacted Woslick seated in the Pontiac with the dog seated in his lap while Officer 3 arrived at the scene.
See what you think. All right. Hold on a second. All right. So you want to go step out of the car?
Officer 1 instructed Woslick to step out of the vehicle, but he refused, asking what he did wrong. Officer 1 repeated the instruction to step out of the vehicle while opening the car door. Woslick refused to exit the car. Officer 1 told Woslick that he believed he was Randall, and both he and Officer 2 told Woslick that he was under arrest, while repeating the orders to step out of the car. Woslick continued to refuse orders, and he began reaching for something between the seat and the center console with his right hand. Officers 1 and 3 grabbed a hold of Woslick and began ordering him, "Do not reach," while in a brief struggle.
You're under arrest. Step out. Don't reach. Do not reach for things. Do not reach.
The officers attempted to control Woslick for approximately 5 seconds, but he was able to retrieve a handgun with his right hand. Woslick brought the gun up towards the officers, and all three saw it. All officers yelled "gun," while Woslick pointed the pistol at Officer 1.
Don't reach. Do not reach for things. Do not reach. Don't reach. Don't.
The officers all simultaneously disengaged and retrieved their duty-issued firearms, firing as they retreated away from Woslick.
Good.
The officers fired several rounds at Woslick during approximately 3 seconds. Woslick was struck by several shots and fell from the vehicle onto the parking lot, while his gun fell out of his hand and landed next to him. The officers immediately advised Branson Dispatch that shots were fired and requested them to start medical responders to their location. During the next minute, the officers secured Woslick's gun and the scene, also checking the occupants of the store and themselves for injuries. When Officer 1 retrieved Woslick's gun, he secured it in the trunk of his patrol car, unloading it first. He discovered that the gun was loaded with a round in the chamber.
One was in the chamber.
Within a minute and a half of the shooting, officers began assessing Woslick and attempting life-saving measures for him. The officers continued to administer CPR for 2 minutes until relieved by Branson Fire Department personnel. Despite all life-saving efforts by officers, fire department personnel, and medics from the Taney County Ambulance District, Mr. Woslick was pronounced dead at the scene. A brief search of the vehicle showed a holster for Woslick's gun wedged between Woslick's seat and the center console. This is where Woslick had reached with his right hand when he was instructed to exit the car. It is believed the dog was injured during this incident and was observed running from the scene. Efforts were made to find the dog, however, it was not located. Per Branson Police Department policy for officer-involved shootings, the assistance of an outside law enforcement organization was requested to investigate. The scene and all evidence was turned over to the Missouri State Highway Patrol's Division of Drug and Crime Control for investigation. At the conclusion of the Highway Patrol's investigation, copies of their report were provided to the Taney County Prosecutor's Office and the Branson Chief of Police.
Hello. Branson Police Department. How you doing, man?
All right.
We're gonna talk to you. Just, cute dog. What's your first name?
John?
John?
Yes.
You got an ID on you by chance?
No, I don't.
Okay.
What did I do wrong?
Just trying to talk to you, kind of see what's going on. Been having some weird stuff going on with this car. So, John, you said John,
6 months.
John,
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I thought you said S. John, what's your last name?
Hankins.
What is it?
Hankins, Hankins.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Just hang on tight for me just a second. We'll get you out of here, okay? '59 Branson. Can you see if you can get a picture for the subject with the 99s?
Where you at?
We're at Dalton's.
Q59 photo has been added to name file on the call.
Clear.
Branson, I'm out with an adult. 248, that's clear, 2154.
Come look at this picture. See what you think. All right. Hold on a second. All right. So you want to go ahead and step out of the car for me?
What did I do wrong?
You want to step out?
No, actually I don't.
Okay. So as of right now, believe you're actually Randall, not John. So step out.
I want to step out.
Step out. You're under arrest. Step out. Don't reach. Do not reach
I'm
for
not
things.
doing nothing.
Do not reach. Good.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Suspect down! Suspect down!
Yep.
Good. Back reload.
Start medical. Get in the gun.
Go for it, go for it.
I got the gun.
Per Branson Police Department policy, once the completed investigation was received from the Highway Patrol, Branson PD began its administrative review. I assigned Lieutenant Jones to conduct this review, and he convened a Deadly Force Review Board. This board consisted of the following personnel: a peer officer, a first-line supervisor, a member of the command staff, a department trainer related to the force used, and a sworn officer from an outside law enforcement agency. These reviews are necessary to assure the community that the police department holds itself accountable in the following areas. First, we want to ensure that applicable policies and training were followed. Second, we want to ensure that the previous training provided to our officers was suitable for the incident. And third, we want to identify whether improvements or adjustments to the policy and training can improve for future situations. As a result of both the criminal investigation and the administrative reviews, the following determinations were made. The actions of all officers involved were the result of the immediate deadly threat that Mr. Weselick presented. These actions were reasonable and justified in compliance with applicable laws, policies, and training. The training also prepared our officers well. Their initial interaction with Mr. Weselick was cordial and calm. They provided Mr. Weselick with clear orders to stop his actions, and they responded quickly and effectively when presented with a deadly threat. They also immediately secured the scene and weapon, checked on bystanders and each other, and quickly began life-saving efforts for Mr. Weselick. Our hope is that this debrief provides our community with the information necessary to understand our officers' actions as well as the reasons for their actions. I also want you to know that this result is the last thing that our officers and agency want to happen. We spend a great deal of time, money, and effort in developing our policies and training so that deadly force can be avoided in all but the worst situations. This incident will continue to affect the officers, the employees of our agency, Mr. Weslick's family and friends, and this community. I ask everyone to be respectful of Mr. Weslick, our employees, and if so inclined, to remember them all in your prayers. I would like to thank the community for their patience while this investigation took place. I would also like to thank all of the agencies that responded that evening to assist our officers and the Missouri State Highway Patrol for quickly assuming this independent investigation. We would like to thank you for your time and your continued support of this agency. So for the community, the link to both this live stream as well as just that video will be posted on our social media channels at the conclusion of this live stream. At this point, I want to bring up real quick, we did mispronounce Mr. Weslick's name during portions of this. That was not intentional, no disrespect intended, and we do apologize for that. With that, I'll go ahead and take questions.
If you have a question, yes.
Oh, okay. Chief Parker Padgett, Color 10 News. This shooting happened at the end of February, and with this review coming down nearly 5 months later, the review coming down 5 months later, kind of take us through what took so long to get to this result.
So as I alluded to in the video, as soon as we're involved in a deadly force incident like this, we turn the investigation over to an independent agency. In this case, it was the Missouri State Highway Patrol. They completed their investigation in approximately 1 month, and then it was turned over to the Taney County prosecutor. Unfortunately, the time frame, those of you remember that our prosecutor at the time was dealing with a very serious illness, and although he was trying to do his best, he was very much under the weather and did eventually pass away. Then the person that assumed his role had to be appointed, so we had to wait for that to occur before he felt comfortable in making that determination.
Lauren Schwenker, KY3 News. So when we were watching that video back through, when the officer approached the vehicle, he had told him that there had been some weird calls about the vehicle. What was the original call, and what have you guys flagged on his vehicle beforehand?
So the original, they were, the license plate was coming back associated with a subject that had a total of 7 warrants, 5 felonies and 2 misdemeanors. And so we'd been looking for that vehicle for approximately the previous 3 to 4 days. He came across it, called for his covered car, and unfortunately, the gentleman stopped in the parking lot before an actual traffic stop could be made. So at that point, he just basically conducted what we can call a consensual contact.
Parker Padgett, Color 10 News again. The officers involved in this investigation, have they returned to work? And if so, when was that date?
They did return to full duty. And we basically migrated them in. So while the investigation with the State Patrol was occurring, we brought them back in what we call a light duty status, where they were in the office and assisting with our office needs. And then once I received the investigation from the Highway Patrol and was able to review it, and we did conduct our administrative review, we felt comfortable with appointing them back to full duty. So they were back on the street approximately 6 weeks after the incident.
Jason Ward, Branson, Tri-Lakes News. I actually have a question for Trooper Carpenter. Sir. Good afternoon, Trooper. My question is, did you receive complete and total cooperation of the Branson Police Department during your investigation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Chief Lauren again, hi, KY3 News. Do you think there's a better way that police could have handled this situation and de-escalation? I saw that all 3 officers opened fired at him. Is that a part of training and a part of what goes into all of this when a gun is shown?
Yes, I want to make it very clear that these officers responded exactly like we trained them. And no, we, through our, not only the criminal investigation, but the administrative review, again, that's one of the things we look for. Could we have done things better? In this situation, and I'm sure you guys will review this video again, it happened very fast. And it's a matter of a split second between an officer being shot and not. And in this case, we've reviewed it, and we are very comfortable that they responded according to the training, and the training really did prepare them well for this incident.
No further questions.
I do want to end with one more quick statement. After our first press conference, when this first happened, obviously we do monitor our social media, and we're aware of several comments that were made, both in support of the department and not. I want to remind Branson especially that we are a special community. The officers that are involved in this specifically, this is going to be with them all of their lives, and we don't know the long-term ramifications. So remember that before considering derogatory statements, referring to them in a way that makes it look like they did something other than the way they were trained. They did what they were trained to do. And then for Mr. Weselick, his family, I met with them yesterday. He was very dear to them, and he was loved by them. He made a mistake, and he paid for it dearly. And there is no reason for us to drag him through the mud, refer to him derogatory, anything like that. Just because he made a mistake doesn't mean that he wasn't very appreciated and loved by his family and friends. So I just ask everybody to remember that if they're going to make comments and things like that, those are things that can stick with loved ones and the involved for a long time. And there's just no need for that. Thank you.